This is my intro. There are many others like it, but this one is mine. Hello, sports fans. It's been a minute. It's your man Dan, and I'm back. And I wanted to wish you all a very happy Halloween. Because we all know that Halloween is the best, most wonderful holiday of the year. It's the day when you get free candy. Or else you're like me, you stay home and you watch horror movies, which is pretty great. I'm going to watch Terrifier, feeling pretty good about that, so I'll let you know how it is. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about the concept of multipolarity or polarity. Now, this one is a very difficult concept. Multi means many, and pole means pole. And that concludes our video. Please remember to like and subscribe. No, really. But anyways, multipolarity is an extension of the idea of polarity in international relations. Basically, the idea that there are centers of power, groupings of power, usually in nations. You've got, like I said, you got the idea of unipolarity, multipolarity, bipolarity. So in this sense, unipolarity is one. You have one pole, like the United States after the collapse of the Soviet Union. They had the run of the roost. It's widely agreed that the Cold War was a time of bipolarity in the international system. You had the USSR on one side and the United States on the other, and it was militarily a more or less even match. Economically, it was a completely different matter. The USSR was about 1/32nd the size of the total US economy. So in there, it was very lopsided. And then you have multipolarity, which is multiple global powers. So for example, the clearest example of that would be the European powers in the 19th century. They were dominating Africa, they were dominating the whole world, and imperialism was having its heyday. So the reason I do want to bring this up is that sometimes, like I'm on Twitter, as embarrassing as that sounds, I'm on Twitter, and sometimes you'll see what I like to call multipolarity bros. Guys who believe that we are entering a multipolar world, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but I do happen to disagree with that being a good thing. A multipolar world is not necessarily going to bring about a more peaceful world. I mean, my personal theory is that we're moving into multipolarity for the fact that unchecked capitalism is destroying the United States from within, and its enemies don't have to lift a finger to keep it from rotting like a jack-o'-lantern left out long after the holiday is over. We've previously had a multipolar world with the European powers, and we saw some of the most depraved, violent colonial wars imaginable in Africa, in the Middle East or the Near East, in India. I posted this article before, but the British Raj in India killed upwards of about 100 million Indians in just 40 years. So a multipolar world does not guarantee a peaceful world. I mean, I'm supportive of multipolarity in the sense that I am like Kwame Ture. If Satan declares war on the USA, then I am on Satan's side. I'm paraphrasing, but that, so don't correct me. Or do correct me, actually. It'll be fun to have it in the comments. What I want, and what many other communists want, is a socialist world, not a multipolar world. Now, in the short-term tactical sense, a multipolar world can weaken the USA, the global hegemon, and give socialism a chance. Because if you look up a list of coups that have been done by the CIA, you get a whole laundry list. Probably more that we don't know about, that were classified. Just like the USSR was the main proponent of socialism back in the day, the modern USA is the main proponent of capitalism, and it functions through its proxies like the IMF, the World Bank, and other such institutions, or just straight up private equity firms like BlackRock, which is the most evil corporation in the world, and I'm not even going to guess if anyone can be more evil than they are. But ultimately, what we would like is a socialist world. Socialism is what we're building towards. Communism is what we're building towards. A world where no one has to be hungry, no one has to be homeless, where everyone's needs can be met at a minimum. Now, like I said, I have some sympathy for multipolarity in the sense that I want to see the United States. Well, no, let me take that back. I don't want to see the United States collapse. I want to see capitalism collapse. And right now, as it stands, the United States is the beating heart of capitalism, global capitalism as it exists right now. It's home to most of the capitalist institutions, most of the major corporations, and since Well, since its multipolar moment came and went after the Cold War, it has been at its most bloody and bloodthirsty and destructive. I genuinely believe that the end of US empire and the end of capitalism will bring about a more peaceful world. And then when that happens, the task will be to build socialism in the world, not just multipolarity. Because then you might have a situation where you have rival powers, capitalist powers who are trying to take over the mantle that the USA once had, and it will lead the whole cycle of violence all over again. Because as I pointed out, capitalism is uniquely violent. Genghis Khan has nothing on BlackRock in terms of its ability to cause mayhem and destruction. So anyways, that was a somewhat shorter video. It's a relatively simple concept, but I think it is worth repeating because the goal is socialism. The goal is not multipolarity. Multipolarity can be a means to an end, but the end is socialism. So with that, have a happy Halloween. Have a great time. I will post whenever I suppose. I've got a full-time job, but I come here when I can. I voted recently in the recent election for the Communist Party, so that was great. And remember to organize, like, subscribe, educate, and have a most excellent day.
This is my outro. There are many others like it, but this one is mine.